Hey, what's going on, guys? And
What
welcome
up?
back to Humanity's Last Hope podcast. I'm Dorian,
I'm Erron.
and we are Humanity's Last Hope.
What's good, bro? How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Can't complain. Blessed and highly favored. Another
Love
day, another opportunity. Feeling good today.
Yes, sir.
Well rested.
Yes, sir. And it's a beautiful day today, too. Out here in Dallas, the sun is shining. It's going to be a warm one.
Yeah, no hurricanes, no tornadoes.
We made it through the thunderstorms the last couple weeks, so here we are. A couple of power outages. You know, food stay cold in the fridge, so we're good.
We Gucci.
Nothing too crazy. But first, a message from our sponsor, Brown Shoe Fit.
I keep forgetting we're sponsored by y'all.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, sir.
Shameless plug.
Yes, Brown Shoe Fit is a professional shoe fitting operation since 1911. We're located in just about 8 states. So it's a place where you come to get your feet properly measured and fitted for good, comfortable shoes. We carry all the top brands from Hoka, On Cloud, New Balance, Nike, Adidas. Ton of accessories from Ridge wallets to Oakley shades and everything in between for the whole family. Mom, dad, brother, sister, niece, nephew, kids, okay? So, and if you guys stop into the Muskogee, Oklahoma location, that's the one that I own, mention this podcast and get your $25 off coupon.
Hey, talk your shit, bro. I feel like you're practicing this. I swear. It's gotten better.
I just been doing it for so long. It's second nature. So.
It's so clean. I like how it flows. So his last one was good. I'm like, but damn, you stepped it up a whole nother lot.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
HLH, coming with it.
All right. So today, the topic is co-host Erron Vonner. And we're gonna do an interview with Erron. And this is going to be a series, so it may not be next week, but probably the week after. I'll go through an interview process too, just so you guys can get to know us a little bit better, some of the basic information, how we think, you know, some of our influences and stuff like that. So today is Erron's turn, so we're going to deep dive into this man here.
Let's get it.
So you guys can get to know him a little bit better.
What you got for me, bro?
So we're gonna take it slow.
Okay.
So Erron Vonner, Mr. Vonner, tell us where you're from.
Oh, my name is Erron. I'm from Toledo, Ohio originally. I would say born in Ohio, but California raised me, so I moved out to Cali when I was like around 12. Best thing my parents did for me. So I got a lot of the Cali culture in me, but yes, I was born and raised for part of my childhood in Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. And, you know, just kind of real brief, describe like the setting in Toledo. What was it like?
So I'm a 90s baby. So for me, I feel like nostalgia wise and lost like culture wise is really like there's no social media, there's no smartphones. Mm-hmm. How you find out where people was at, where the bikes parked, you know what I'm saying? Where's the bikes, the motor scooters at the time too. Motor scooters was going crazy at this time. My boy Marcel had one. But pretty much, man, it was a very, how would you describe protected childhood? My dad was very strict, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't leave the block. I was not the most, popular kid because I had pretty much a stretch of street and that was it for my life for most of my childhood. We moved around a lot, but eventually we found roots on Elysian, which is like literally right across the street from University of Toledo, Dorr Street. So that's my block, I guess I could say, where I met a lot of my childhood friends. I'm still cool with almost all of them to this day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kel, shout out to Marcel, shout out to Mont. Yes, shout out to a long list of cats, David, all y'all. So
are they still in Ohio?
Yeah, so most of them are still in Ohio. Marcel isn't; he's in Houston.
Okay, cool.
Just about everybody else is in Ohio. They trying to get the fuck up out of there though, which makes sense because, like, to be honest with you, like Toledo's cool, but it's not somewhere I would see myself like longevity wise. That's why I say it's the best thing my parents did for me because it wasn't shit there besides trouble and and really. I don't see, and first I hate the snow, you know what I mean? So like I grew up around it, cool for snow days and shit like that, but I don't like the cold that much. So it's just not like where I see myself in the future growing and building a family, diversifying my life and things like that. I do own real estate out there though. So it is a good cash flowing market, solid market, but it's not one that I see myself like continuing to live in, which is funny because I haven't lived there since I was 12, but I've gone back. See, my grandma still lives out there.
I know family. You take many trips to see grandma and mom on occasion.
Yeah, so. Exactly. My brothers and sisters, a lot of them live out there. I got like a total of 12 siblings, 2-step. You know what I'm saying? Most of them still live there or moved back.
The Wayne Brady bunch.
Most of them, and it's funny too, because the ones that move back are like pissed that they moved back. I'm like, why the fuck
Really?
did you? Yeah, they don't
Okay.
like, they don't, because there's no progress, but like, it's not like a super progressive, you know what I'm saying, city
Sure. Okay.
in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does have its attributes, but it's not something that, like, when you get a taste of Cali or, you know what I'm saying, certain West Coast or East Coast type of living, is you get stuck in that mode. So for me, it was an upgrade, so I'm not trying to downgrade, you know what I'm saying,
Sure.
and go back.
Sure.
And that's no disrespect to the city, because I still fuck with the city. But at the same time, it's a time and a place for everything, right? So I outgrew certain things, and I'm in a place now where, you know, I care about my surroundings. I care about the house that I live in. I care about the roofs that I set. Shit, I care about the weather that I'm experiencing. You feel me? So it's like everything, in a sense, you know, builds a whole picture of where I want to stay. And
Sure.
and Toledo is a place where I can go back and still tap in with those connections. You know what I mean? Spend time with my family and friends, which I love to do. Dabble in some real estate, you dig, because it's a great market for that. But you know, it has its purpose for where my stage in my life is right now.
Okay, cool. So came to California at 12 years old, with your family and brothers, sisters, etc. So from age 12 to where you are now, because that's a good, about 20 something years.
Yeah.
Do you think most of your influences have come from, how you grew up in Ohio, or are most of your influences from your time in California up till now?
I would truthfully say it's a mix. So I can pull things from my childhood that, I experienced with my friends and family that have a serious impact on who I am today. You know, for example, football, that's where I first experienced football. You know what I mean? Like, my friends and them were like dipping out in the summer. I'm like, where are y'all niggas going? Like, what's going on? And so I found out they was playing, you know what I'm saying, for a sports team. And so I hit my dad up like, I want to do that too. Shit, like, I ain't got like 3 months and I'm going to be kicking it by myself. They going to practice and stuff like that. So that kind of sparked my interest in football. And then I got to playing football.
So your friends got you involved?
Yeah, because they was already involved in it. I didn't even know about it at the time. I'm like, I want to say 8, 9 or something like that.
Were you involved in anime at this point?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
so
Yeah. So
okay,
anime was probably around, like, I want to say, as far as I can remember back, was like 8 or 9 when I first started watching anime.
Okay, so this was right around the same time.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So this was exactly. So it was around the time where, Pokemon was popping. You know what I mean? Like Yu-Gi-Oh, all that shit. Like, and then Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
Saturday morning cartoons, Fox Kids, like all that stuff was
Great
going
time
on.
for cartoons.
You know what I mean? So those were kind of like the Americanized anime, but I also was watching like anime outside of that. I just, because my dad had satellite one period of time. It was for like a couple months. And so, the dish, the direct TVD or satellite dish, whatever, we had that. And so I was like, I was able to get tapped in with channels that not regular TV had. So,
bro, that's so funny. That's so funny, because I was riding with Laura yesterday, and we were talking about like movies. Yeah. And I was like, we moved around a lot when I was a kid, and so I was like, anytime we move, we get cable. And when you get cable, you get HBO for free for 3 months.
Exactly.
So I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
So that's funny you say that, because HBO was playing some of the anime that I was watching. Yeah. I think one of the first ones I seen, like, movie-wise, was called X. It's like an old ass one. I think it was called X or something like that. But it kind of sparked my interest in it, you know what I'm saying, outside of just like the Dragon Ball Z's and shit like that.
Which is fire.
Yeah, which is fire, but it kind of led to that. And it's funny you mentioned it, because like the HBO was free until it wasn't, right? So it's crazy that you bring that up as well, because there were times that we didn't have cable, right? Didn't have TV. So me and my sisters and brothers watched this, like, we VCR'd, right? So we watched this Franklin movie, bro. I kid you not, like, probably thousands of times.
The Turtle?
Yeah, The Turtle. It was the only movie we had. So we, like, literally watched this movie thousands of fucking times, bro. I kid you not. Like, hey, it's Franklin. Yes. I know the song and everything. Bro, we watched this shit thousands of times because we had nothing else to watch.
Boredom is crazy.
Yeah, and so there would be times where we get Nintendos, have to sell it back, get Nintendo, sell it back type of shit. But when we didn't have the video game, we was watching that fucking Franklin movie or Titanic or some shit like we only had like 2 or 3 movie rotation type of thing.
Okay.
And so,
dang,
yeah,
those are. I mean, and luckily that Titanic movie's long.
Yeah, it's long as
so
shit.
You can chew up.
But it's so fucking dramatic.
Oh my God,
it's not a
kid movie.
Yeah, it's not a kid movie, bro. So for me, there was a lot of like again, I was just getting bored of shit. Like, I can't keep watching the movie. So my friends was dipping when summer. You know, put it this way. So when we were kids too, like it's you outside. Outside was like the social media. You know what I mean? If you can't go outside, it feels like you're in prison.
Oh,
so
God.
if I wasn't playing outside, I was going to sleep, doing homework, going to school type of thing. But when school stopped and my people was going to play football, like I'm going outside, like I ain't got nobody to fucking play with. I'm like walking down the street type of thing, not doing nothing, So I realized football was something that was interesting because my friends was interested in it at the time. So I was like, let me try this out, and I loved it. You know what I mean? So then that part really had a lot to do with like the beginning of my extrovert like personality. So it took years of just kind of being around people that like I was cool with. Me and my friends fought a lot. Like we got into multiple fights. Fist fights. Yeah. We fought a lot. It was cool to a week later. It's multiple. Like I fought with probably each of my friends like twice, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Just over dumb stuff.
Yeah, dumb shit. Like it's just you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. So we going through all that shit, but we still cool. And then you know what I mean? So it kind of
Who won? Who won most of them?
It ranged. Because sometimes it was a jump situation, like Chris and his cousin Daryl jumping once.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, bro. They dropped like a brick on my back, bro. I was like, it was some Acme shit, like the fucking the Looney Tunes card, bro. Just dumb
the
shit.
Anvil,
bro.
Your head, big old
exactly. I'm like, why the fuck did you just drop?
Okay,
I was
they dropped a brick on your back.
Yeah, bro. It was.
Like how? Were you like prone?
We were fighting, and I was on the ground fighting with one of them, and the other one just came and hit me with a brick. Like it just. We built thousands of tree houses and clubhouses and shit. Like that was pretty much our thing. So that's how
that's
I knew.
a good childhood in my opinion.
Yeah. So and exactly, it's like it was very hands on.
Scraping your knees up.
Yeah, scratches. I
Sweaty.
chipped my teeth like 10 times, bro. Like so
okay.
we were doing dumb shit like playing softball with no gloves. And so like he hit the ball, what am I gonna catch it with? Right? So it hits me in the mouth. Like, bro, it was the dumbest shit possible. I re-chipped the teeth like riding a scooter, and it hits a bump. You know, like when the pavement's uneven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hit the fucking pave.
You're not ready for those. Yeah.
Slide up, my face slides on the concrete, just like that, bro. All type,
right,
bro. I was fucking myself up all types of ways, bro.
Yeah.
And that's like what childhood is known for, because it's like we didn't have other things to keep us, entertained. There was no YouTube. There was no like streaming sites. There was nothing to like do besides interact. And so that's what we did. We literally built like our childhood was really like playing basketball, playing football, building clubhouses, and fighting.
Yep.
Pretty much consisted of all those things.
Bro, that's
so I got into real estate when I was 9. We built our first property. We built our first, and I'm telling you, like, we called this bitch the Spot. It was dope, bro. It was like the tree was a blackberry tree.
Okay.
And we didn't know this at the time. We were eating the shit off the tree, bro. We didn't know what the fuck we were eating, bro. But it was good. It was
you guys
blackberry.
were eating good back in the day.
We was eating like raw blackberries off the. We don't even know if that shit was good for us or not. Come to find out there was black. I realized as a grown man that I was eating blackberries and not.
Blackberries grow on trees?
Yeah, I think so. Or shit, they was growing on this motherfucking tree.
Might have been cherries or plums, maybe.
No. It was like
they had the little.
It could have been a bush off the tree, but I know it was a part of the tree.
Okay.
The tree was like a canopy type of tree, so we built a clubhouse under that bitch.
So you guys had like the foundation, like you guys
the
built
ground.
like a place where you could sit.
Ground.
Was it in the tree or was it?
This was probably one of the hardest like 90s tree houses ever built by kids. My nigga, like we used the ground floor, the dirt, as the first floor, right?
Okay.
We built we literally all the shit we found was around the neighborhood. We went to our parents and shit. Hey, are we using this chair anymore? Are we using this? Da, da, da. We had a recliner in there.
What?
We had a gambling table in there. We had a TV
Wait,
that didn't
were
turn
off
on.
the ground.
Oh no, so there's a first floor.
Okay, yeah.
And it was the entry,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And so we had the walls built up, which was just kind of wood and shit. And like we put furniture in that bitch. We made a second floor because you could climb up the tree and get to the second stat. So we put the board up there, nailed it down. Bro, we built this bitch like a house,
really
like
did.
real. So it had 2 levels.
You
This was
guys
probably
had
the
a
best
structure.
one. Yeah, best probably clubhouse we've ever built. And the city had to come tear it down at some point because like we were moving and all this other, like, you know what I'm saying? They obviously can't just have shit in a vacant lot. You know what I'm saying? Homeless people could probably come live in it, bitch. And if that was a homeless house, nigga, they living nice.
They were living good.
Good. Like we had recliners, we had chair, we had a TV that didn't turn on. It did because we were able to connect it because of our neighbor.
You had an extension cord?
They had an extension cord all the way to their shit. So we were able to turn on, play some movies. This was the TV that had the VCR in it.
Oh, preloaded into the TV.
Like built into the TV, so you could play movies and shit from crazy. The TV. So I got it from my grandma. So we were able to watch like movies in that bit. Like it was
really chilling.
Really chilling. If we weren't doing, you know what I'm saying, other shit, right? But like that kind of taught me into teamwork, you know what I'm saying? So it had a lot to do with kind of my personality now. Like I like building shit with my people, with my friends. You know what I'm saying? I constantly say
and you know what? It makes sense when you GC'd, what was that, 2511, right? Yeah, so I mean that kind of,
you know what I'm saying?
It seems like real estate for you has been.
I just actually, that's a
connection you made just now.
Yeah, just now. I never thought about that.
But
shit.
That makes sense
because that was our first property.
I heard a quote one time, and it was by Oprah said it, and it was a Nietzsche quote, and it said like, if you're struggling to find out what your purpose is in life, he said go through all the most important moments of your life and write down notes and connect them, because there's going to be a common theme throughout your life.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what you should do from as early as you can remember up till now, that there is a common theme that he said, write down the things that bring you to life.
Bro, that's some of the best times because you don't have a lot of distractions in life. You know what I'm saying? It's raw, just making your, that's like the rawest creativity that we had, you know what I'm saying, as humans, for me and my friends. And we built multiple of these, but this was the best one. So by far, because it was the one at the later times before I ended up moving. And like just the friendship that we built, and the times that we've experienced, you know what I'm saying, even with the fights and shit, like they all kind of tied into kind of how I am now with like wanting to build shit with my like people. I don't like, I can build shit by myself, but I've done it and it's not as enjoyable. You know what I mean? So that part had a lot to do with like who I am today. And when I moved to Cali, you know what I'm saying? And that's, I would say, one of the main things. That and outside of childhood traumas, like survival mindset, poverty mindset type of things before now. But as far as Cali showed me the possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like what I can really truly experience, or where, even if it was temporary for some of the times, moving around a lot, it still showed me that it's real, it's attainable. A house like this was like, you know, women, you know what I'm saying? Outside of, because I wasn't the guy in Toledo. I wasn't really the guy in Cali either, but it showed me that there was a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it kind of sparked that self-improvement, like the ability to kind of be my best self, or the best person I can be, physically, mentally, communication-wise, you know what I'm saying, conversation-wise, like just verbiage and shit, like trying to say the slickest statements and things like that.
That's definitely a California thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it showed me that, and dress, you know what I'm saying, fits and things like that. It showed me that there was a whole different type of vibe out here, and it was there. Right. And when I seen it, I'm like, yeah, that's more my style. That's more my speed. Yeah. And so it allowed me to kind of broaden my understanding of the world, even if it's only within the U.S. You know what I'm saying? It still changed me from like a Toledo mindset to a larger state like California. Yeah. And I feel that alone allowed me to understand, like, I have a lot more that I can get out of life than just like, you know, not saying it was things, just like the Clubhouse. I can actually get a house. I can actually live in a bigger house. You know what I'm saying? I can build and create relationships and friendships that will kind of shift my life. You know what I'm saying? Or like relationships like me and you, bro. Like 10 plus years. You dig? You know what I mean? Like fruitful.
Working on 20, bro.
20.
I don't know why you always keep saying
I don't know why I keep that. I'll be thinking since I got out of college, bro. I'm tripping. This is about Dub.
It's 20 because we met freshman
2014,
year. So 14, you know, we're 14, 15 freshman
2004 till now. So yeah, Dubski. Damn, bro, it's crazy. But like it seems like 10 because of the experiences that we had. You know what I'm saying? Like accumulating them, calculating them, and things like that. And then I would say too, like the thing with the weather. You know what I'm saying? Like being in a place where it's like it's warm most of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like people are more like, high spirited and shit like that. It's not gloomy and shit like that all the time. It's not snowing. It's a different energy. You know what I'm saying? When I came to the schools in California, the elementary, middle schools, I was like, damn, it's a whole different move. Like it's fast paced. Shit's crazy. Like people, you know what I'm saying? Just lunch alone, I'm thinking like, damn, this is a whole day. Like most of the schools are outside. Yeah. Which was just a shocking situation to begin with. You know what I mean? Like you just get more energy from that shit. Yeah. And I loved being around it.
Yeah. You know, California does have it has a certain energy to it. And I think because it's like you say, it's an outside state. Yeah. You know, the weather's so nice. Everybody wants to be outside all the time.
Schools are outside. Yep. And so the crazy part about it is it really exposed my insecurities, I say. Because I was already insecure. Like we used to crack and roast each other in Toledo, right? So I was already insecure about something. Nothing changed when I got to Cali. Right. But the difference was like I was standing on a different soapbox, or I was standing on a different
you think pier. Because you had moved there?
Yeah, I was just feel like I was standing in a different environment to where like I could determine like what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like not my parents, because my parents had most say over my life up until, you know what I'm saying? But this is where I can create my own new environment. My own new experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a victim to like my dad smoking weed, my friends cracking on me about it. Or, you know what I'm saying? This is the 90s. Weed was kind of like considered like crack.
That's an interesting perspective for you to have, because when you move to, because what it sounds like to me, what you're saying is that this move shifted your perspective in a way that now you're in control of your destiny, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, and I write what goes forward. You know what I'm saying?
Which is interesting because you were still an adolescent. Yeah. You weren't even like a teenager yet.
I'm glad you caught that. And the reason I say that too is because nothing necessarily changed. Still the same parents, still the same siblings, still the same me, but the environment did. So it's a new chapter. It's not, and this chapter has no idea what the last chapter was. So I get to write it. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, okay, new identity almost. New beginning. Even though it's the same characters. You know what I mean? So for me, I was able to script it. Again, I fumbled, you know what I mean, in certain areas. I'm an adolescent, I'm a kid. But it started that need to overcome whatever insecurities I had.
Yes.
Because I was a victim to like gaps, crooked smile. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The
poverty.
Superficial stuff.
Yeah, the poverty. Like I was a victim to that, and that was my reality. And I couldn't get out of it mentally. You know what I'm saying? Out there, because I didn't know I was even in it. It was just what it was, right? But when I went to Cali, I realized what it was. And I'm like, damn, like this is a different, they living different out here. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different experience. And it still has poverty in Cali. But it's like, I didn't see it moving into it as a poverty-stricken thing because it was already a step above where I was at.
And in Southern California, like, it's poverty, but like,
it just depends.
It's like being broke on an island.
Yeah,
you know? You're not really in a super bad spot because of the weather and the environment itself.
Exactly. So it felt like just like you did, we was broke on a nicer island.
Right. Yeah.
Still broke, but
exactly.
But my mind didn't take that same understanding. It just said like, this is just a new script. Write that bitch. Like, make sure it's your. You know what I'm saying? Your one that you can look back better than it was in Toledo, because you could rewrite that story. And so that's how I approached this shit. So in California, it produced a lot of different personalities in me too, because you seen like how like I was pretty outgoing. You know what I'm saying? I made friends with most people. Nobody really didn't like me.
Nah, everybody liked you.
Yeah, it's like, but there was like one or two odd situation, but that was an issue with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because when it came down to it, I had no like I didn't start shit with nobody. You know what I mean? So if anybody didn't like me, it was just something was up with them not liking me.
Right.
And so I'm not saying I was like the most likable person. I wasn't the most popular dude. But what I'm saying is like I respected other people in a sense of like individuals. Like if you do something that I don't fuck with, I just don't fuck with it. I'm not going out my way to, you know what I'm saying? Like this ain't no fucking movie where your way is incorrect. I'm a step on it type of shit. Like I think I was mostly just trying to be cool, everybody have a good time while going to school and getting the fuck up out of that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was my objective. Have a good time, get the fuck up out of here.
So let me ask you this, because I'm curious. From my perspective, having a big brother, like, it was a blessing, So for somebody like you, describing what you just described with you moving here and adopting a new perspective and a new mindset, do you ever wish, because like for me, like a lot of my influences came from my older brother. My dad wasn't around, so Dimitri was, that early father figure for me.
Yeah.
So do you ever wish that you had an older brother?
Definitely. I had an older sister. Because like when you have somebody that treads the path before you, it makes it so much more easy.
Yeah.
It makes it like second nature. It's like you almost ride sometimes off the coattail, because I think Dimitri was a popular nigga at that time. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just off this association, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that helps with shit for sure. When you don't have an older brother, it's like you just got to figure that shit out. Yeah. You just got to figure it out, because you're not kicking it with the niggas that's 2-3 years older than you, and that just off top, like, even though it seems superficial and like childish, that used to be important to people.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm kicking it with seniors, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm kicking it with people that ain't even in high school no more, and they're gonna associate me with that. I'm just gonna be popular off that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, it was just figuring this shit out. And I definitely wish, I had an older brother, but I also prided myself on being the older brother. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
because you were an older brother yourself, obviously.
To a lot of siblings.
Because the oldest sibling is Erica, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you're second oldest.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And so I prided myself on that. So I wanted to set an example for my younger brother and sisters that lived in Toledo, even Elijah and Tia and them, right? So, and they still kind of look up to me, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You feel me? So I prided myself on that. So I was like, well, I don't have one. Mm-hmm. Let me be one. And I'm not saying I'm like the matriarch that's setting the path in the way, but I'm making a difference. You know what I mean? It's in my opinion. Yeah. And so
no, you definitely are.
Yeah. So
whether you know it or not, you are just by your actions alone and your results.
And I feel that it's landing with my little brothers and sisters. And so like I wouldn't say be envious of not having an older brother and whatnot, but I would have enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because it would have also put me in a situation, because me and my sister were close, but she's a female when it comes down to it. It would have put me in a position where I could have like rubbed elbows with a lot more people, would have been able to like establish and build myself as a character and a person based off of information that I didn't have available to me, rather than figuring it out. And figuring out isn't a bad thing too. I can't say I would have did it any differently, but it would have been cool to have, somebody to do it with. You know what I mean? Because I think you and your brothers were super tight. Like, y'all were inseparable. Yeah. Y'all kicked it with the same clique. And usually you were hanging around people up above the situation. Like, they were either about to graduate or already graduated. Like, me, Mike, and Oscar and all them, like, I feel like, since some of them were in a younger class or whatever, but we were able to kick it and have a good time. But you always had that like older crew that you could kick it with that we didn't necessarily have access to unless we were playing sports.
Yeah, I oscillated. I went back and forth.
Yeah,
I kind of jumped around a little
and so you were able to see a lot more, become more mature faster than per se me.
The maturity was before that for sure. So that, I think that's kind of why I was able to occupy some of those groups. But I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? You was able to be, like you said, be in those rooms because, and to be honest with you, even them older niggas was immature about shit. But at some sense, the maturity was still different at the level of doing things, right? Going places, getting into things and shit like that. It came second nature because you were hanging around those cliques. Right. Us, we're just kind of like trying to figure out where the next party at or trying to hang out, like just to do something before social media was a thing. Right. This is shit, I think, before smartphones even hit. So there wasn't I didn't have a phone all of high school. I think I had one phone and it was like a couple months, prepaid. But
if it was a phone, it was prepaid.
It was for sure. It's like a Nokia, old school Nokia. So I never had a phone like that. I didn't get my first real phone until I graduated and went to college because I needed it. I was moving out of state, so I'm gonna need something.
What was that first phone?
It was a It was the Verizon.
I remember because your uncle worked for Verizon, parent, right?
Yeah, my dad did too. My dad.
And
did
your dad
too.
was okay.
But at this time, he wasn't. Was he? No, he wasn't. But I bought the phone. My uncle gave me a graduation present for the bill.
Okay.
Mind you, he gets the discount, so it's not that serious. Right. But it was still something that saved me money.
Oh, for sure.
But it was it was right after the iPhone came out. Verizon put out something that had a keyboard on it. What the fuck was that called? Not the Voyager.
Was it the Droid?
No. It was. I think they were Droids at the time, but it was the iPhone. It was the one
Did
that
it slide
flipped.
up?
No. It flipped up, and you had a keyboard. It was
Sidekick?
I think it was a Voyager.
It was the Voyager.
It was the Voyager.
It was the Voyager because it had the touchscreen and it had the slide up. I remember you came around with it.
Yeah.
I remember you came around and say, "Bro, what is that?"
Oh, you know what? It did slide up. It didn't. So my phone after that flipped up. It was both. It did flip this way and it flipped this way. But
so crazy to think what we did before iPhone became popular. We had everyone had a different phone,
bro. No color screen type of shit, bro. It's crazy. Yep. But yeah, they got me that, and that was, I think it was called the Voyager. But I was excited about that motherfucker because I ain't never had a phone before it. So like shit, this is it. Got my touchscreen phone, got my keyboard phone. I was text messaging was charged at that time. It wasn't unlimited.
I remember one time we were headed to a party. We got lost. I said, "Hey, bro, let's use your GPS." You said, "Nah, I can't use it." I said, "Why not?" You said, "Because, bro, it's going to charge data." I was like, "Oh, yeah, all right."
GPS was not cheap.
No, it wasn't.
GPS and texting was not cheap. You had to be strategic on who you communicated with.
Oh, yeah. You're like, well, let's just get a little bit further down. Let's try to get close. And then as
close as we can. Yeah. Because that shit does charge per minute.
It does, bro.
And they charge for
back
text
then,
at that
it was
time.
no unlimited data. I mean, you could have an unlimited data plan, but it was like $200.
Yeah, it was too much at the time.
So thinking back, right? To those times, like when you think back on it, you know, what makes you feel nostalgic? What makes you feel what brings back some feel good emotions? What kind of chokes you up thinking about that time?
In what aspects? Are you talking about like childhood or are you talking about teenage?
I'm talking about during the times when we were hanging out, you know, high school, during high school, a little bit after, like, you know, what think about think about those times that when you think back on it. And you're like, man, that was. I wish I can live that moment again.
There was a couple. So one of the ones would probably be like my first time experiencing track, like joining the track team because people was doing that for football training at the same time. It's like almost similar to when I was a kid, right? I didn't run track before, but then Mike and Q and all them was doing tracks. I was like, all right, let me check it out, and I can also get some conditioning in. And like my first experience, you know, Danny and Tony and them, like. And Cameron and shit, like these motherfuckers, like I guess they're super into wrestling at the time. So fucking like you guys were having a brawl outside the fucking track gate and shit like that. And I remember, I don't know who got fucking stunned or whatever it was.
Stone Cold Stunner?
I don't know who it was, but they slid down the hill after they got, you know, the hill right before you get to the track.
Yes.
They got one of those moves hit on their ass, and they just start face sliding down the hill, like one of those situations. That's right before motherfuckers knew they was getting cut out the team because of their grades. But you know that right before that time happens, oh, grades coming out. Well, all right then, Mike. All right, thank you. All right then, D. We know who's getting cut. I think I was the last motherfucker to actually be on the track team at that point.
Bro, we dropped like flies, bro, every year.
Every fucking year. So
every year.
So like shit like that. I would say probably simple shit like lunch, bro.
Lunch is fun.
You know, crazy like how like communal lunch was.
Bro,
it was like a club.
Things?
It was the club. It was a break for club before you go back to class. Like. Then we eventually had to get 2 lunch periods because our school was so we had like 5,000 kids at the school at the time. Yeah, it was packed. Like it was almost walking out into a fucking like fucking festival. It's so fucking loud. Everybody's talking, eating food and shit like that. It was just kind of those times where we get to roast each other. Yep. Like times, matter of fact, some of the other times was like on fucking when I was playing basketball and bus rides home from the game. Like we would Jay Will. Kevion, Mike and all them, like, bro, we start roasting each other and shit. Like, we're in the stands waiting on the game. We're roasting each other. We roasting each other on the way back to the, like, that type of shit fucking comical.
I'm sure every school roasted, but I feel like our roasts, we just roasted a lot, bro.
And you could tell when people were getting in their feelings because they would just get quiet.
Bro, like, cause
you have to have thick skin as a kid, bro.
Bro, we roasted at every single point during the day, all day long, from start to finish. And so it was interesting because when we went to other schools, right, like track meet, football, basketball, whatever.
Yes.
Bro, they could not hang with the roasts.
No.
Like, we were a roasting
It was
school,
like they
bro.
were almost shocked we were talking, like, you don't fucking know me talking shit. Like, bro, damn, bro, we thought y'all did this over here, too. We thought y'all
My
did this
bad,
shit.
like, this how you know we like each other. We roast each other.
And the crazy part is, like, just the experience of that. And then, what was I going to say? I think it escapes me. We was just on the bus roasting each other. And just the laughing, bro. It's like, you know, when you had a good joke, it's just so abrasive. Like, people were literally neck back, choking on whatever Cheetos they eating and shit like that, bro. It was just so funny. And that's what I was gonna say. And I think that's why, like, when it comes to social media and not having such an impact on me, when it comes to like negativity and people just talking shit, or just, you know what I'm saying, like whatever they got to say that might not align with what I'm doing, it doesn't really get to me because, like, I was real life talking shit to a person that was talking real shit to me, and the shit was true. Talking about my shoe, whatever it was, the shit was fact. Like, and or when I had gaps, like, bro, this shit don't bother me, nigga. He commenting or a chick commenting on my photo saying this, that, and the third video. And I think that built up a lot. Because Remy's like, why don't you ever respond? Like, ta-da. I'm like, for what? Like, what the fuck am I going to get a roast session with this bro? I'm like, if I'm bored, but I'm never, ever that bored to where it's like, it makes sense. If this person was in person, it would make more sense because then I would really want to spark your ass. But, but this isn't a personal conversation. Like, I'm not going to be able to get they're not going to see my tone, how I'm, because it's all about delivery when you're roasting.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you could say some basic shit. The delivery was everything in high school. Oscar, Dalton, like the delivery was everything. Laughing, all that was everything. If you didn't have that, you don't have a roast. It was basic. It was like
you gotta wait at the right moment for the crowd to die down just enough.
And then just
exactly.
You gotta hit the sharp pull up, bro. And then the crazy part is, like, I remember one of these jokes, bro. Like, Jay Will and Keon was double teaming me, bro. Pause. That's crazy. But they was smoking my ass, right?
Yeah.
And I just looked down, I looked to the right. I'm like, I'm about to spark this nigga. I see the Shacks. You remember when Shacks was being sold at Walmart? I see the Shacks. I'm like, I'm about to get this nigga. Pointed that much. You got to be like dramatic as fuck, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, this motherfucker don't even have real Shacks. His shit got a K on it. Bro, every fucking body was rolling.
Bro, I'm telling you.
And the crazy
timing.
thing, it was like such a battle because I felt the pressure. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm about to be depressed in 10 seconds if I don't fight back. I'm gonna be depressed in 10 seconds. And so if I don't say anything,
a real battle though.
Bro, if I don't say anything, I'm done. So what happened was,
sometimes you take the L.
you have to
it's
shift,
like,
but it only takes, and that's when I realized it only takes one to shift the tide. Nigga, everybody's in your corner at that point. When I said that, even Jay Will left Kevion's corner came to mind, and we start roasting him, bro. Just the shift. And so that
was the craziest part, because it would be like 3-on-1, bro, and then like I can't believe I'm getting quadruple teamed right now.
Brutal, bro.
Like everybody just laying into you. It's like, wow.
You really feel like nobody likes you in life at that point in life, bro. Nobody likes me right now. Bro, nobody's fucking with me.
You like, so like, even my friends.
So when people be talking about like, oh, this person says something, like, dude, you a brittle ass motherfucker, because this shit don't faze me. Like, personally, I feel like I look too good, I'm too confident for somebody to make me feel any other way.
Bingo.
Unless I give them like the authority to. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's the type of stuff I remember, because like that's how I feel like was like strengthening. You know what I'm saying? Us for this age of softness, bro. You know what I'm saying this age of softness, bro. And of just dependency on certain things. So for us, we know life without it. Yep. We know how it feels, where the best thing was to find the party and just have a good time, crack jokes, dance on the wall. You know what I'm saying? We didn't need all the most. You dig? We didn't have any.
Didn't want the likes. Didn't want the, you know what I'm saying? None of that, bro.
And that itself is nostalgia, because there's no time that exists like that. It will never be the same time. Nope. That's why I think 90s is probably like the last of the Mohicans, last of the.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because after that, shit changed.
Changed.
Bro, shit changed.
Yep.
And so for me, it just, I always feel like a sense of pride about that. You know what I mean? It's nobody that can say they like, I don't even know if kids do these days where they ride bikes to their friend's house and go to just play games and you don't know where motherfuckers at until you
They don't
yell out the door like,
Yeah.
hey, Aaron, like
Aaron here?
if you can't,
Nah,
if my
he ain't
dad
here.
couldn't yell out the
Dang.
door and get a response within seconds, I was in trouble.
Ooh.
That means I'm too far from the house.
Ooh.
Motherfuckers is like, that's the life I live. And it was super guarded, you know what I mean? So that's part of like, I feel also why I'm a certain personality too, because I want my freedom to do stuff what I didn't have as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my friends enjoying this, that, and the third and all this, like, but I didn't get to do the same experiences all the time. So it's like, man, like nobody staying at my house whatsoever. That's a no-go. My dad was not trusting. It was a no-go, which is at the time makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, statutes of limitations. Sorry, Pops. But he was doing some shit he probably wasn't supposed to be doing at the end of the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Had some pounds on it, this, that, and the third.
Right.
So it didn't make sense.
Right.
But I will never fucking forget, bro. Like, we was chilling on my porch, and my dad was walking into the house.
Ooh.
Dropped a zig.
No.
They didn't have raws. He zigzag on the floor with weed. Obviously, it was weed in it, whatever. My friends looked at him, and then they just stopped, right? My dad goes into the house. They bust out laughing. I'm like, fuck, bro. Fuck.
I thought they were going to pick it up.
Roast, bro. No, it started a whole roast session after that. Because, like, I used to get roast because my dad smoked weed.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's not, now you think about it as a grown-up, like, shit, everybody smoke weed. But it's not, like, a big deal anymore. Because we thought then it was, like, on the Schedule 1 crack level. You know what I'm saying?
It was just,
it's something bad or something like that.
Yes.
Dare not to do drugs.
Agreed.
Bro.
Well, that's, bro. That's a big part of the reason why I didn't do drugs or alcohol for a minute, because I passed dare.
You know what I mean? We were brainwashed. In some sense. Some of the shit that obviously coke and crack and all that shit was bad. But it was inconsequential.
Right. Man, great times. So, one last question here.
Yes, sir.
So, and then we'll jump into some rapid fire stuff.
Okay.
Like, so, from we're talking about all of your experiences from Toledo and then moving to California, some of your earlier experiences there in middle school and outside and high school and, into college. So all of that information, all of those perspectives and life changes and mindsets and experiences. So from your perspective, what's it like to be a man?
Oh, it's tough. I'm gonna keep this one pretty short too, because it's not for the weak. Both for the good and bad. It's a path that I feel more men need, more young adolescents need, when it comes to opening up, communicating, and learning how to, address their feelings, their emotions, their defaults, things like that. Because it's always this thing where we're okay, we're good. It's no big deal to us. And that's because we have to put on that persona to seem strong and strengthful and shit like that. So we're never taught to be vulnerable. And a level of vulnerability, I think, can make a person stronger than people think. You know what I'm saying? Going through certain things, for example, as a kid, like one of my brothers passed. And that wasn't something I could have been vulnerable about. I was an adolescent, but I really wasn't as vulnerable as it should have been, right? But I wasn't taught to be vulnerable. I wasn't taught to talk about my emotions. I wasn't taught to, like, express how I felt.
Interesting. So you knew you should have, but you didn't know how.
I didn't know how. I'm like, I should feel something more than this. This is like my ace right here, but I didn't know how to express. I didn't learn how to express that until I was in, like, my late 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. So being able to address, like, subtle things like that can exceptionally increase, like, your ability as a man in this world to achieve not just your goals, but to achieve your purpose. Because you know more about yourself. You know what gets to you. You know what doesn't get to you. You know how to operate. You know how to deal with them. You know how to cope with them. Can lead you down the proper path of recovery or of addressing them. Then, like, no, I'm not supposed to feel this. So you ignore them and push them to the side. That, like, hinders a person's, like, emotional maturity. And emotional maturity, I feel like, is very, very important, like as a grown man. If you don't have it, you don't know how to control it, you don't know how to address it, you don't know how to identify it, you are pretty much at the whim of society or the environment around you. That's the best way I would kind of put that. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does. Basically, you know, from where you start to where you are, like, you know, good man has to be mind. You have to be excavated.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, the one doing the excavation is yourself.
Internally.
Yep.
Exactly. Because you can't know what you want in life or know what you want to get out of life if you don't know what you yourself need or you yourself are experiencing.
Right.
You don't know yourself, you don't know anything else.
You don't know anything.
You don't know anything else.
You have no, like, compass.
At all.
No perspective, no lens to view life through.
Exactly. So that's what I would say if I had to put it all in like a couple of statements.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. All right, let's jump into this rapid fire real quick.
All right, we got a few more. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So I'm just going to, like, you know, rattle off a couple of questions. Just give us the first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
Burgers or pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza. Okay. Pepperoni?
Pepperoni,
Like plain pepperoni?
bacon.
Pepperoni and bacon?
And bacon.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Perfect
okay.
combo.
Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Ocean.
I'm not a heights guy.
You don't like heights.
I can't swim either, really, but I can wear my shirt in the mountains, or I can take my shirt off and look decent in the water. I'm gonna go with the water.
So how deep you going? Ankle deep or waist deep or like?
As much as I can stomach.
Oh,
it just depends on what I'm doing, if what's available, if I'm by myself.
I'm gonna get you some swimming lessons for Christmas, bro. We gotta remedy that. Okay, I already know the answer to this, but we'll fill into the people over here that are watching. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Bingo.
Dirty Dough. We need that
Hey,
sponsorship.
Dirty Dough. Hey, Dirty Dough, sponsor us, man.
Please.
We love your food. We love
Please.
it. Okay, I got the app. That's the only food app I have on my phone. I actively search. Oh, they got a new cookie flavor. I was gonna ask you today. Hey, let's pop over to Dirty Dough real quick.
Bruh.
Split a quick dozen.
You see, I said quick dozen.
Quick dozen.
And he's
Hey,
like,
listen. You're not. Don't come to me talking about you're a cookie fan if you're not ready to split a dozen cookies where each cookie is at least 700 calories.
At least. Oh, easy call.
Shout out to Dirty Dough.
Let's go.
Sponsor us.
Shoot it.
Okay. Car or truck?
Car.
Okay.
I'm not a truck guy. I can see the value in trucks, but I like the C8s. I like the Lambos. I like the slick shit.
You've been talking about a C8 for a long time.
So I'm in the cars more than I am trucks.
Okay, I got you. All right. Would you rather live for 1,000 years or live 1,000 lifetimes in 100 years?
Live for 1,000 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't need to experience everybody else's life or everybody else's versions of life. I prefer to experience my own for 1,000 years. Okay. What I want.
1,000 years, huh?
I can figure it out in 1,000 years.
You can figure a lot out in 1,000 years.
I could live a couple different versions of myself, but I would always bet on myself, my version.
Okay. Yeah. All right. If you could only watch one anime for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You motherfucker.
Come on, rapid fire, bro. You got to hit me with the quick one. No.
If only one for the rest of the...
2,
All right,
1.
Demon Slayer. If it had to be one, it would be Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. You went with the new one. I thought you were going to say Naruto.
I already seen everything.
True. But I say for the rest of your life, though.
For the rest of my fucking life.
You said Demon Slayer. You said Demon Slayer.
Okay.
All right,
rapid fire. These rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Let's stay true to it.
Okay. Would you rather fly or run really fast?
Fly.
Okay, cool. And the last one. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. I
appreciate
it. I know we have been going on for a bit, but I appreciate this one, man. I like this one. This definitely is good. This is a vibe.
And like I said, this is gonna kind of like introduce us in later on if we wanted to do an interview, like how it would kind of play out. So this is kind of a test run. Give everybody a chance to know a little bit more about Erron because this dude is really, really interesting. So make sure you guys follow him on Instagram at Erron Vonner. Make sure you hit him up on TikTok. This dude posts some of the best get ready with me content. He's got the great workouts on there. If you guys want to see what the pinnacle of man looks like with his shirt off, go follow this man right here because he truly is tattooed. And he is my oldest friend. Appreciate you, bro.
My God, I always love you, bro. You always gas me. But we'll get up out of here. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Smash that like, smash that subscribe, and fuck with us. All right, y'all.
All right, peace.
Deuce.